What's up, guys? Welcome to your 20th Android tutorial for the new Boston. Again, my name's Travis. What we're going to do in this tutorial is basically work with this menu class, which is a list activity. And we'll probably take this tutorial and the next tutorial to finish this up. And again, I know this is probably really confusing and it's kind of more advanced, but I just wanted to show you guys that we can set something up in Java instead of the XML, as well as it's a great little menu that we can use throughout the rest of this series. So I wanted to get set up now, but if you guys are confused, please don't stop with this series, because this will make, you guys will look back at this and you'll be like, oh, I understand everything that's going on. But as for now, I do realize that it's probably pretty confusing for you guys. I just wanted you guys to get this set up for the most part. But what I want to introduce you guys to, in this tutorial at least, is starting an activity. And you're like, what? We've already done that. I know how to start an activity for the most part. We do that with an intent. Well, basically I want to show you guys a different way to start an activity. And what I want you guys to do is go within this onListItemClicked method. And in the next tutorial, I'll kind of break down everything that we've done. Or we'll finish our application, then I'll break it down. I just didn't have time to do it in one tutorial for the most part. So I'll show you guys how to start a new activity. Again, it's pretty simple. We're going to say start activity, and again this will take an intent, so we need to create an intent, and we're going to call this intent our intent. And what we're going to set this equal to is, again, a new intent. And before we say our action name, like com dot, the new Boston dot starting point, all in uppercase, or whatever our action name was within the manifest. Now I'm going to show you guys a different way that we can set up an intent. Again, we have to import it, but we're going to set up an intent based off a class variable. So what we need to do now is set up a class variable. So again, above our intent line, we're going to set up a class variable called class, or I'm sorry, we're going to call it our class, or whatever you guys want to define this as. And what we can set this variable equal to is something, we can use a method from the class called class. So we can say type class, and we can use this method for the name, and it gives us a string within, or we need to put a string within here. So basically what we can do now is say com dot the new Boston dot Travis dot starting point. Instead of, our action name was all uppercase, this is an actual class, or basically the path, a string for the path of the class starting point. And you can see that up here. Here's our package name, com.thenewboston.travis, and then we have, it looks through here, and here's our starting point class. So it's kind of a reference to that. And basically it's going to create a class variable for the string name, or for the path name of this. And then what we can do is we can set up an intent based off that class, but this intent is going to take two things within its parameters, a context and a class variable. So we're going to say, again, this current class's context, so it's called menu, it's our class name dot this. And then we're going to hit comma, and in the second parameter we're going to type our class, which is our class variable we just set up. And then we can type our intent here. So there we go. That's basically, we'll get into this error, why we're getting an error here, but in the next tutorial. I just wanted to show you guys that we can set up kind of an, start an activity in this manner, where we set up a class, and then we set our intent, and it uses a class variable, and then we can start our intent. That's basically the end of this tutorial. Obviously we're getting errors, but we're going to finish that up. I'm going to talk through everything in this application and kind of hopefully get you guys to understand what we've built. And then we're going to get into something really simple. So again, don't get discouraged and be like, wow, he's moving too fast. Such a douche. Because I will go back and we'll kind of cover some easy stuff here. But thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you then.